I joined the Marine Corps in the year 2008, and every year the Marine Corps celebrates its birthday on November 10th. So my unit went to Las Vegas at the Hilton, and we celebrated the Marine Corps birthday and had a ball there. Well, that night I got really drunk and ended up doing cocaine. That following week we had a drug test, and I tested positive. They decided that I was going to be administratively separated with an other than honorable discharge. And in the month of February, I went to the brig for 25 days. And then after that, they started the paperwork to process me out. And that process only takes usually about 3 months. And for some reason, for me, it just kept going and going and going. And it ended up extending over the entire next year. Well, that following March in the year of 2010, my great-grandma died and we came home for her funeral. Well, that week I had an extremely bad migraine. So the next couple of days when I went back to the Marine Corps, I went and saw the doctor. And the doctor told me to go get a CAT scan. When I went to the hospital, I actually got a CAT scan done. The doctor said that I had a pretty big mass in my brain. That's when the doctors informed me that I had a brain tumor, and it was pretty serious. In my head and in my heart, I just said, God, you're the only one that can save me from this. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing the doctors can do. So I'm just going to have faith in you. I got a hold of my parents, and then the next day they flew out there to see me. The neurologist told my parents that the glioblastoma was a tumor that couldn't be operated on, and that my lifespan was about 6 months. My parents just refused to believe that. We all just refused to believe that, and everybody that we talked to, we told them we're not believing what the doctor's saying. My Uncle Ron, who's Pastor Ron, also, he prayed about it, and he even brought it up in the church that that's just not something we're not going to believe in. The very next day, the neurologist came in, and she did another evaluation, and she said, we can't explain it. We don't know what happened, but the tumor isn't what we originally thought it was. The tumor has somehow changed, and what the tumor is now is it's a PNET. It's a primitive neural ectodermal tumor that normally happens in an infant 0 to 1, but we can't explain it. We don't know what happened or how it happened, but it happened to your son at age 22. The good news is that we are able to operate on this tumor, and we should be able to cure this cancer through chemotherapy and radiation and whatever we can get rid of through the surgery. The next day I had surgery, and they ended up being able to remove 75% of the tumor. A couple weeks after my surgery, I got sent home, and while I was in the hospital, the Marine Corps actually decided that they weren't going to process me out. They weren't going to kick me out for popping on narcotics. They were actually going to keep me at active duty for the rest of my remainder of my term of 4 years, so that way I could continue be getting paid while I'm going through my treatments, and that way the insurance would cover all of my medical expenses. I just completely believe and trust that that was God doing that. And right after my surgery, the first night I went to sleep, I had a vision from God where I was standing on the end of a cliff, and God was standing on the far end of a cliff, and he was just a speck to me. And then in between us was just a bottomless fathom, and there's no way for me to cross it, So my belief in God for this tumor and God healing this tumor, basically what he showed me was that he put a bridge right down in front of me, and that bridge went across that chasm, and it led directly from me to him. And he just kind of opened his arms, and he said, run to me. So ever since then, I've just been running across that bridge and trying to cross that fathom to get to God as soon as I can, and get into God's arms. Thank you, Life Change Church, for all your prayers and support. It literally saved my life.